Arsenal vs Luton is set to get underway in the smallest stadium in the Premier League as we are away today. Ben White comes back in obviously after the Tomiyasu injury. Hope he can be back to full fitness imminently because he has been in great form and quite a quick key player for us in recent games. Zinchenko sits this one out, Kivior is in at the back. I'm going to guess it's because rotation as well as the fact Luton are likely going to be looking for a long ball, so Kivior's height will help. It's like having the third centre-back, well, four centre-backs really when you think about Ben White. Havertz is the only change in the midfield today. I'm going to assume for the same reason as Kivior, add some height into the team. Been scoring a couple goals recently, want to keep the form going, want to keep his confidence high. Front three, self-explanatory, Saka, Martinelli and Jesus. Obviously our strongest attacking three. Been in great form, but we need some more goals. I know we scored 6 the other day and we seem to be doing well, but the highest scorer in our team has 5 or 6 goals in the Premier League, which is not good enough. I know that we're a team that likes to share the goals around, but we need someone that's pulling ahead a bit and scoring more than everyone else. What Luton has achieved getting back in the Premier League is obviously a phenomenal feat, but I do believe we should be destroying them today. Our position in the league compared to theirs, our form against theirs as well. Simply looking at the squads on paper, this should be an easy game, and I think it will turn out to be that way. Anything can happen in the Premier League, and we need to stay switched on and not go into cruise mode necessarily just because this is a worse opposition. My hopes is that we go maybe 3-0 up and we can rest some of the key players like Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, Odegaard, you know, just a couple of them, and keep them fresh for obviously the Aston Villa game, which is going to be very difficult. A very good Aston Villa side, obviously, being managed by Unai Emery. The wings, as I keep saying in all these videos, will be on fire today. Goals, assists, crosses, all of that, and, you know, maybe Havertz can get a goal as well. 4-0 is my prediction. Keep it tight at the back. Win all the aerial duels. That's my wish list. I'll see you at half time. We go in 2-1 leaders at the break. I've been pretty surprised by the performance so far. Luton have impressed me more than I thought they would. Off the ball, they're very aggressive and they won't give us any space. And they won't really let us play as well as we know we can. The real golfing difference is seen, or golfing ability rather, is seen on the ball. Whenever they get any chances, they've many misplaced passes and they're constantly handing possession back to us. We have been decent on the ball. Our passing has been pretty precise, but we haven't really carved out too many opportunities from the game so far. Let's talk about the first goal. I really enjoyed this one because Gabriel Jesus, he's taking advantage of the moment. It's an opportunistic goal. They have a poor pass back and the keeper kicks out of play. He goes out for a throw in, and most players, you know, walk over to the ball. Everyone gets into position, but Gabriel Jesus runs over there, noticing that players aren't back for Luton defending. He picks up the ball, takes it quick to Saka. He just little pass back to Martinelli. Bit of a missed kick, but it ends up in the back of the net, so that's all that matters. Quick location change, but as I said, I'm very pleased with that goal, taking advantage of the moment. 4 minutes later, they get a goal from the exact thing I said we need to be cautious of, which was a set piece. It was a corner. I thought Kivior would be played to, you know, help counteract this, but it doesn't seem to be working. Their left back Doherty has been playing quite well. I think he will tire out in the game considering how he is playing, hacking down that wing quite well. So they get a corner. It's a free header for Osho and it's a 1-1. Disappointing really. That's the only real attacking threat they seem to have at the moment, is from hitting the ball long and trying to flick it on, or the corners they've had. We get a goal just before half time. Ben White, who I actually thought has been pretty poor so far. I think it must just be because he's been out of the squad for a while, but he's not had the best control of the ball. He's had a few bad passes. He ends up getting the assist as Saka threads him through, and nice lofted cross for Gabriel Jesus. And he just nods it home and he shows the fans because they've probably been in his ear all game. 2-1 up going into half time. We need to be more solid in the air, make sure we're winning all the balls. There's been a few times where it's bounced and then, you know, you're told as a defender, never let it bounce, always go for the first ball. But it has in this game. They've come out on top usually after that. They've been better at winning the second balls, it's felt like. So 2-1, I'll see you at full time. What an end into a fantastic game of football as we come out 4-3 victors over Luton. Declan Rice does it again in the 96th minute. We've managed to secure the 3 points after what was a disappointment, certainly below par and certainly not what was planned by Mikel Arteta. We did not control the game and we didn't stop the threat that we knew they had. The threat we actually planned for. 2 of their goals, well, obviously you know in the first half, but their first goal in the second half comes early. Another corner. This time it is definitely the fault of Raya. He goes to to claim the ball and gets nowhere near it and is out-jumped by a player. That is quite embarrassing if you think about it as a keeper. You can use your hands and you're getting out-jumped by a player. And the question, obviously, as it always does when a mistake is made by a keeper in a team at the moment, when should Ramsdale come back? Should Ramsdale come on? Mikel Arteta mentions in his press conference about this, he views the goalkeeper the same as any other position. This would be the perfect game to bring on Ramsdale, you'd think, considering Raya makes another mistake shortly after. Ross Barkley finds some space at the edge of the box, drills it low through the middle, but it goes right under Raya's body, and we find ourselves 3-2 down. And it's extremely disappointing. Nobody was expecting this. A big upset is on the cards, but we managed to turn it around shortly after with who? None other but Kai Havertz, the man I told you is here to win us the league. He is the missing piece, as some of you may know. He needed some time to work into the team. He's needed a bit of a confidence boost. Since getting that goal against Brentford, things are just seeming to fall into place for him, and he just can't stop scoring in every game that he's playing in. And this was no different. And it was not only a great goal, a deft little touch over the keeper, but he had a great performance as well. Interchange with Gabriel Jesus to provide a target option for Raya when he's trying to kick it long, running in behind defences, continuously causing problems, getting involved in some of the little link-up play with some really nicely weighted passes. He just was involved in everything today. And aerially, he almost got a second to put us 4-3 in front, but as it turned out, it was a great save from their keeper, who did make quite a few good saves in this game, I must say. Havertz is really coming in, finding himself in this Arsenal team, and I'm all here for it. He seems to flourish when in high-pressure situations. He did it in the Champions League, obviously, for Chelsea all those years ago. Well, a couple of years ago, not that long ago. In this game, when we're 3-2 down, the kind of situation where people might start getting really pissed off, he steps up and gets the goal to bring us back in the match. From that point on, I always saw it as a 4-3. I saw us winning the game. At 3-2, I thought, oh, it's not looking good. I thought maybe we get a draw. But as soon as we got the other goal that quickly, again, I saw us getting another. Turning point in the game for me was Zinchenko coming on for Kivior. The choice of Kivior just didn't seem to work. Two of their goals came from corners. Zinchenko comes on and we're back to the familiar play style that we have come to know and love this season. Dominating the ball, condensing the opposition into their own half, into their own quarter really. They just can't get out and they just have to defend for their lives. This is how the last 15 minutes of the game went, I'd say. They didn't really get any more opportunities and we were just hammering them. And we got an extra 6 minutes as well, which just made things even better for us, of course. If Zinchenko started the game, well, obviously it would have been a different match, but I think it would have been much more likely that we'd taken control of the game early on and would have been able to show some better resource management by saving the legs of Saka. We do manage to find a way late in the second half. Declan Rice's header in the 96th minute, one of the last touches of the game, and it brings home all the 3 points for us. When we look back at the season, look back at what we achieved, he will be one of the key players, if not the key player. Fantastic defensively, carries the ball well. He has some really great switches today over to Saka, and then these clutch moments he has, like against United, like he has today, they're not always last-minute goals, although these are happily welcomed. But, you know, it is those big tackles, it is those big passes, and he just keeps performing, and he just keeps getting better. I didn't see this at first in the play. I was a bit unsure, especially of the price tag. I never really followed him too closely. I didn't know this was the kind of player he was. I just envisioned him as beefy CDM who likes to put in a good tackle, which I'm not against or opposed to, but these other qualities he have are certainly welcome. These type of games, whilst providing the most entertainment and creating the best memories, it's not a sustainable way of playing football if we're being realistic. If we want to win the title, we need more boring games per se, how we have been playing at the beginning of the season, where we get the goals and we just kill the opposition off. They have no chance, they have no hope. That is a more assured way of winning the title, I think. When you play games like this, it's draining for the players, it's draining for the fans. It takes some stuff out of you, man. When you're getting all these crazy last-minute winners, it's so fun, but, you know, if it depends what your goal is. Of course, you want to sprinkle them in to keep things interesting. We can still be fun to watch, obviously, just from the style of football we like to play and the players we have. But games like this, we just got to make it 3-0 and we're done. Save these kind of games for Man City and stuff like that. They'll be better. But I mean, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just happy that we won But I'm just, in terms of the players, their legs, mentally, the taxing of it, we got to make things a bit easier for them, a bit more calm and relaxed. What would you do for the game against Aston Villa? Would you start Ramsdale after Raya's shaky performance, or would you leave it as it is to keep things consistent? Personally, I think I would give Ramsdale the start, as he hasn't. It's been a while since he's been in the first team out of choice and not necessity in terms of the Premier League. And I think it shows that you were staying true to your word in terms of Arteta, and it creates the competitive dynamic that I think is what he wants, right? If Ramsdale doesn't feel like he has any opportunity to get in the team, he's going to feel less driven to work hard in training. At least that's how I would think about it, or how, considering how he set up this whole scenario, that's what would make sense, is that they're fighting for the position. So if when the opportunity arises for them to take it, when the other player isn't playing well enough, and they don't get it, then so the dots are not connecting and things are not making sense. Of course, do I think Ramsdale will start against Aston Villa? Absolutely not. I think Raya will be in the between the sticks, because I think he is the number one, despite what Mikel says. Ramsdale, he's laughing and joking on the bench anyway. That's because that just seems the kind of character he is, light, and he keeps things easy and fun, which is quite why I liked having him in the team and taunting other players on the other things. But anyway, a little bit of a rant there, or a rant there. Let me know what you do in the comments. Raya, Ramsdale, who's your favourite? Who would you play in the next game? What a crazy match. Please, Arsenal, let's keep it a bit calmer next time, but, give me this every now and then. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me your opinions in the comments. Share this video, and of course subscribe. I will see you on the weekend for Aston Villa.